Hi, I'm JOGB and welcome to Jo on the Go. Today I'm with the wonderful Lee PYCROFT, beauty wellness expert and psychotherapist. See what I mean?
Not much pressure.
I'm here today with the fabulous Lee PYCROFT. This lady, how many years have we known each other? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I mean, your eldest
plus?
is 21. Oh my god. Yeah, easily. Before kids.
Yeah.
Horrific.
Oh my god.
How is that
4 kids?
possible?
Oh my gosh.
Just not possible. She is a makeup artist extraordinaire. Lots of wonderful celebrities adore her. And she's also now a psychotherapist.
I am indeed, yeah.
And that's quite something when you get a beauty makeup expert combining that positivity of well-being in with your whole career, because that's like the best thing.
Thank you.
Explain. Tell me more.
Well, I think because I've spent so long in the beauty industry and I've been really privileged in working with lots of famous people, and I travelled all over the world, and I was been working with Anne Hathaway and Gwyneth Paltrow and Sienna Miller, and had all these incredible experiences.
Never heard of them. Yeah.
And the gorgeous Jolie Richardson, and I was ambassador for different brands, and had a brilliant time. I've absolutely loved it. And then I started up a charitable initiative using beauty as self-care in vulnerable sectors. And I think really working with people who, from A-listers through to people in the vulnerable sectors, I could see how makeup would create this emotional shift in people. You put your sort of blusher on and you feel brighter, or you put your mascara on and you feel more awake, right? Because it's not the makeup, it's how we feel. And I think from there I kind of thought, actually there's more to this whole makeup lark than just actually applying it. It's generating an emotion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just seemed that the right transition, to encompass that part, being a psychotherapist and all the well-being tools that gives me to be able to offer to people, in with practical tools for makeup. So now I'm all about, on my website's about practical beauty advice and lots of tools and tricks based in neuroscience and mindfulness and ancient wisdom to help people feel better too and deal with sort of daily struggles.
So what sort of things from the psychotherapy? So it's human givens, isn't it?
I trained in human givens approach.
Can you explain that? What
The
that
human
is?
givens approach, it's beautiful because it's a warm therapeutic approach. It's based in emotional needs. Everyone has physical needs, and we have to learn about what our emotional needs are. And when our emotional needs are met in balance, then we tend to feel more emotionally balanced in life. So things like connection, the need for attention, privacy, status, these kind of things. And when they're met in balance, then we feel better. And when they're not, we tend to feel stressed. And we live in a society now where we've had such huge rates of change. I think with technology and the amount of demands on our time and attention, it's more polluted, it's more crowded. Are you glad you've just tuned in for this really cheery video? It's going to get better, I promise. But so people, there's issues. People have got some issues around anxiety and depression, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So really,
it's mounting.
It's mounting, And so it's like, how can we cope better these days and feel more emotional balance in our lives? And what does that mean to each person?
Yeah.
And so, to me, the beauty industry is a phenomenal platform to be able to sort of advertise that from, really, and make it more accessible, these tips and tools more accessible to people, in their everyday life.
Yeah. So what would be your number one go-to sort of tip for somebody who was feeling, I suppose it depends obviously whatever their feeling is, but, do you find that there's one particular thing that you recommend that just makes them go, I feel more calm, I feel more...
Do you know, I think the interesting thing is people forget how resourceful they are. When people are stressed, what happens is they almost become emotionally hijacked. They've triggered their fight or flight response. And when that happens, we tend to think in very black and white terms, and we forget that we have this emotional flexibility, and we misuse our imagination and think of all the things we don't want to have happen, right? And so I think that the biggest thing is teaching people relaxation techniques, and this is why you've got these amazing apps like Calm, and this is why well-being is becoming much more spoken about in our industry. Because people need to learn how to relax and to calm down, because once we've done that, then you can open up your brain to a more sort of solution focused way of thinking. So I think it could be anything, like from taking walks in nature to doing meditation, to having rituals. And I often talk about, conscious beauty rituals. So everyone goes through a beauty ritual in the morning, right? We wash our face, we put our makeup on. But be mindful of what you're thinking when you're going through that process. What's the dialogue? The often unconscious dialogue. And it's kind of like, how can we take that moment and make it, those few moments, and make it into something where we learn to relax more? And it's sort of factoring in those moments throughout the day, and breathing techniques, and music is a brilliant one. It's a great way of changing your emotional state. Making sure you're connecting with people that you really feel like this kind of thing, because we connect on tech all the time.
Yes, totally.
So we're connected, but we're not connecting from a human perspective.
The PR went hysterical the other day because I rang.
Oh my, yeah, I mean, exactly.
You could tell it was almost like this isolated call in the office, ringing out, and everyone must have looked at this thing going, where's that coming from?
Yeah, who's that at the door?
What is that?
And I think, now with social media, we can do the edited highlights of our life so easily, and so no one's really, it's a bit of a facade. We can create avatars of our life, right?
Yes,
we can filter our faces, and everyone's but one filter away from looking flawless. Right?
Well,
so it's kind of like we're living in this sort of strange world, a strange time.
But also potentially a lot of loneliness, because you see everybody like this, and they're not looking up, and they're not engaging around them. And,
and it's an interesting thing that actually, because while the world, I don't know if you've noticed, the places are more crowded. Like when I was younger, I don't remember going into London and it just being packed with people all the time. Do you ever remember that? There's a lot more hustle and bustle.
Or maybe I just mind that they're in my way now.
Yeah, lots of patience. But what's interesting is people almost, we all need a certain amount of privacy, right? And people putting their headphones on, it's almost like a way of blocking everything out. So there can be a positive side to that. And actually, if you're struggling with a commute and you put your headphones in and you can just tune it out and stay more relaxed, that can actually be quite positive. But equally, you have to remember that where we used to read books or a newspaper, everyone would have the newspaper up like that, wouldn't they? But now,
also antisocial.
Yeah, we also now we just do it all via tech. But it's sort of, it almost, especially with the next generation, it's almost interrupting their ability to be able to go out and communicate and sit with silences between people. Like if we're sitting here and then no one's saying anything, it's, are either of us uncomfortable? No, we've known each other a long time, we've got that history. But it's really, for me, when I learned to connect, that connection was available to me at any time, and I could go out and chat to anyone, I find 99% of the people I chat to are quite happy to chat back.
Yes.
I could be standing in the loo in the ladies' room. Have you ever done that?
Yes, absolutely.
And suddenly just chat to the person behind me.
I quite like getting a London bus, and I quite like talking to a stranger on a bus, which I think an awful lot of people aren't comfortable with.
But it's a great way
Possibly the people I was talking to.
For me, it makes me feel more part of something. That's actually one of the emotional needs. People love to give and receive attention as emotional need. People love it. And if you want more attention, then give a bit more, because people respond to it so well, So that's really why I retrained. I trained as a coach first in the work of a peak performance coach called Tony Robbins, and then I went into...
Oh my God, that man.
I know,
oh my God, did you meet him?
I didn't meet him. It was all online. I went to San Diego to work with his associates. But then I trained...
Convincing chap.
Yeah. I trained in Human Givens approach, because I thought, actually, I want something that's, really got substantial... Well, it's got substantial evidence behind it, and it's a regulated body in this country and that kind of thing. So if I'm offering advice to people, I want it to be really solid advice.
So it has CBT and hypnotherapy?
So basically we have a thing called what we call guided imagery. So it's really a way of rehearsing what you want to have happen. So it's like a form of hypnotherapy. It's like a trance state. And we have CBT, we've got mindfulness, we've got storytelling in there. So it's what you'd call a brief solution focused therapy. It's about getting people to move forward. So it doesn't spend loads of time sort of harping on about the past. But if you have got issues from the past, like a trauma or something, then we can use another technique to help unhook that trauma and soften it and to get people moving forwards. So I think it's just very practical, it's warm, and it works, and I think for me, if I was going to go publicly and talk about well-being, I wanted to be able to speak from a place of authority, because I think we're living in a world now where anyone can be an expert, right? You can just say you're an expert. But for me, I kind of thought, actually, I want to be tested on this. I want to, go through the whole process of retraining, which for me, I hadn't passed an exam. I don't think I ever actually passed an exam. I mean, I think I left school at 16.
Didn't matter back then, did it?
No, it didn't. So when I was kind of like retraining, I was like felt like I was at the bottom of Mount Everest. I was like, how am I going to get up there?
Oh, well
but it just shows you, like, you know, it's one step at a time, and just breaking it down into small little segments. It's like any problem you've got, right? You've got to break it down. You know, what's the first step, second step, third, and then just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
And did anything in your life make you want to do the whole coaching and training?
I think, you know, it's like everyone goes through phases in their life which are challenging. I mean, that's what makes us grow and makes us evolve and makes us more compassionate and empathetic. And I think definitely I went through a sequence of events that happened where, you know, I broke up with the father of my kids, I was a single mum, I was working all over the place and not able to cope with it. My mum then died, my daughter got ill, so it was like one thing after another. And I think to climb out of that, I started contributing to other people to put my focus outwards rather than internalising everything. And through that,
more often what other people do.
You know, but instead I kind of thought, where can I use my skill sets that will be for the greater good? So I think through that and seeing then in the vulnerable sectors, God, this makeup is really making people feel amazing. You know, like a woman who's been through this, you know, grief or domestic abuse, and you do this makeover, and for a while she feels something different, and then because you feel something different for a while, you can feel it again. And I think that was really.
But it's like putting a brave face on. I think people underestimate the power of makeup so much. You know, even if it's just a mascara, you know, it's whatever makes you feel stronger, better, prettier, happier, and so with that, it's like sharing that knowledge, and you know, and not belittling the beauty industry as still so many do in
it's a really interesting one, that, isn't it? Because I think there's so much more to it, and I've witnessed how much more to it there is. Because you think of it as powder and paint, but it's the emotion underneath that. You know, that's you're using that tool to bring out that emotion. And things like, you know, when you need to go for a job interview, or you need to do something that's challenging, it's like being able to call upon those characters that we all have within ourselves, times in our life when we felt courageous, times when we felt brave, and being able to literally, you know, put on a red lipstick or a fake eyelash, whatever it is, you know, bronzer, just to bring up those characters and use your body then to strike a pose or get into that time in your life when you were that person and bring that emotion to the fore. So it's all kind of tools that we can use to help advance ourselves, you know?
Absolutely.
What do I do to stay calm, relaxed?
What does Lee do?
I love being out in nature. I live by the river, so I go walking by the river. I do meditation. I talk to my friends. I mean, the big thing for me is connecting with people. I'm very driven by connection, and we're all driven by some emotion and some need. And some people might be more driven by status, for example. They have to feel important all the time. I'm driven very much by connection. I want to be connected to people. I want to feel like I belong to something. So that's why I love working in teams. So talking to friends, nurturing relationships, that's really important to me. And I think, you know, I'm very mindful of embracing each moment, if you like, because we struggle when we're resisting our reality. You know, if we're presented with a situation and we don't like it, and we get into this shouldn't be like this isn't fair, whatever it might be. But actually, you know, how can I grow through that if I'm presented with a challenge? What's it testing me to do? Because we don't grow through having a laugh, do we? We grow through our challenges. That's what makes us into, you know, more sort of compassionate human beings, you know. So I would say, relaxing, meditation, using my imagination for the good, connecting with my friends, making sure I eat the right foods, move my body. Because if you think, people who are stressed and they're in fight or flight, they're usually sitting rigidly still, and all these chemicals are flooding through the body. But we need to move and do something to break up those chemicals.
It's all easily forgotten, isn't it?
It's easily forgotten because we get caught in that sort of cycle of life. So I'm a big one for getting myself to the gym and that kind of thing.
So how can people get hold of you? Do you do classes or courses or one-to-ones?
So I do one-to-ones at the moment. So you can go to PYCROFT.co.uk, and through there, that's my beauty, wellbeing, wisdom site, and through there you can link to Pockets of Wisdom Psychotherapy. And I'll do one-to-one sessions there, and I live in Kingston, so I do them from there. And then in the future, what I want to do is workshops with people combining practical beauty and tips for emotional wellbeing around different sort of subjects.
So different destinations. And and when you do, you'll find them on your website. So
Exactly.
just go to the website is always the answer,
Yes,
isn't it?
and there's lots of tips on there about emotional needs and about how to get over a breakup and all sorts of things on there.
Yeah. I think we know where I'm going to be spending the rest of the afternoon.
Firstly, this is what I do on my skin. Okay, this is what I'll do in a day. So I will wear Laura Mercier first, the tinted moisturiser, because she was saying BB cream or foundation. So I'll put this on, and then I'll use my House of Glam Dolls Glam Base Wheel, which I love.
I haven't seen this.
Oh, it's amazing, because this, you've got a lovely highlighter in there.
I can see you like that one in the middle.
Nice peachy concealers, so it's just great for shadows, just, you know, erasing any tiny little bit of blemishes or redness, that kind of thing.
As a makeup pro, how do you advise people select their colour? Because you can see it when some people's faces and you think, what advice should they have had?
Well, I think, you've got to do it in daylight, and you've got to look for the most neutral tone on your face. So I would say this part here, around here, you've got to look at that part, and then sort of take into account the colour of your chest and the rest of your face. So somewhere around here is usually the most neutral part. I would match to there, and then apply the product, go out in daylight, wear it for a while, see how it sits on your skin before you buy it, and then if it sits well, depending on the texture you're looking for, whether you want matte or satin or dewy. I like quite a dewy finish.
That's cute. Very portable. Very on the go.
Portable. And it's great because you can just layer it up, and you know that's a slightly golden highlighter there, which is so pretty. See?
Very pretty.
So that I would use as my base.
Love it.
And then this is actually another Glam Dolls.
You do like these little circular discs with...
Yeah, so Glam Dolls is a makeup school actually run by David Horn.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
And he creates these, and this is a Glam Dolls powder, and it's a bit like a Studio Fix, only much finer. And so this is great for just dusting where you need it, giving a little bit more coverage. And so I'll put that on with this kind of brush, which is by Pixie Woos, because it's super soft, so it doesn't pick up much product, and you can just buff it in really easily.
Do you think makeup artists have a particular buffability that most human beings don't have?
I think they tend to have quite a light hand. So you see like this.
Yes, I needed some. Sorry, thank you.
Should we put a little bit more? Should we put a little bit on Jo?
I am a Miss.
Actually a nice
I am Miss Shiny.
This is actually a good colour for you. This.
Oh, very
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
La la la.
Yeah, you see there, and always
Makeup
across the
pro.
brows, just there, and that bit there. And I would do in here.
I like shine too much, don't I?
Well, I think shine is lovely, but this bit down here, especially on camera, it can look quite good, and then you can leave the rest shiny. See, and supposing you put on a bit of this too, this would look really nice.
Oh, she can do the whole thing. Oh, I love it.
A little bit of this on, because you actually had a colour quite similar to this. Put your chin down. So let's just put a little bit there. And tap that in. Highlighting
on the go.
That's it. Yeah.
I love it.
The residue there. There we go. Put a little bit more here. And this is just so easy to use, and it looks great in daylight. That's
hot date, obviously coming up soon.
I've got a hot date tonight. Well, actually, it's not a date. I mean, it's my gorgeous boyfriend. But he's taking me. It's a date night. It's our date night tonight, and so I've got these little eyelashes on. Can you see that?
Very pretty. I know.
These
I'm loving lashes at the moment.
I mean, honestly, I think lashes without much else is the way forward, because it just gives you eyes loads of definition, but you don't need lots of makeup. But the key is to make sure the base of them is not too thick. Because you know lots of people wear lashes, but they look like great big heavy things.
Then you look like you've got liner on all the time. So they just look fake.
And these ones.
Whereas actually, I'm sitting so close, and I wouldn't have known.
See, these are baby Ardell baby demi wispies. They're the baby demi wispies, not just the demis, but the baby demi wispies.
That's a
and
nice
you can
name.
just plop them on. They're really flexible at the base, so they're easy to apply.
Have you seen those metallic ones?
Metallic, really?
Squealing in the office. Oh, what does everyone think of my glow? My organised glow now, instead of my Joe shining all over.
That's nice on your cheek, that. This is another lovely powder I love. If I'm going to do a bit more powdering, or if I want something slightly different, this is the Hourglass one.
Yeah,
love that one. Really nice. Mascara, Dr. Perricone. Have you used this one? No,
I have.
Mascara.
Nice wand.
Yeah, really good wand, and I just think it lasts. I mean, okay, do you want to hear a makeup sin?
Yes.
Okay, the other weekend.
Is it your sin?
Yes.
Excellent.
Right, my sin is I wore these eyelashes and that mascara, out last weekend. What was I doing? Oh, I'd done a talk in the day for International Women's Day. And I was going out to stay at my boyfriend's for the weekend, bringing my daughter, and I didn't take my eyelashes off for 2 days. And do you know what? They stayed on perfectly, and the mascara and everything. That is a shocking horror story,
dirty
isn't it?
cow.
Dirty birdie.
Dirty
I am a
birdie.
dirty birdie.
That is
Now my
funny.
halo's truly slipped.
And now everyone is going to be putting on those lashes, putting on the mascara, and sleeping in it, and just going,
honestly,
I'm sexy.
I was thinking surely they're going to come off, and they didn't. It was
I
quite
think
amazing.
Charlotte Tilbury swears by day after makeup.
I mean, yeah, and it was kind of great. I didn't have to put any makeup on the next day, and I was like, oh, these eyelashes. Yeah, that was my makeup
Love
sin.
lashes. I was going to tell you about the metallic lashes.
Oh, yes.
They're hysterical. And you literally you get a set of a little metallic box that's got 4 lashes in it, and one you go like that. And
Yeah.
but it's so funny because
magnetic.
They are magnetic, and it's funny because actually they're really quite fab.
Are they?
Yeah, they are quite
And
fab.
they stay on
but
really
but
easily.
you do get a solidish base, which
Right.
isn't my thing.
Okay,
But
so they're all right for
but
night,
they do
but
stay
not.
in. Yeah,
That's amazing,
Yeah.
actually. Amazing. Do you want to see more things?
I do.
Okay, so this, I love this.
Mm.
And the reason I love this is I get really dry hair.
Yeah.
So this is great for just a little bit of oil in the day if I feel a bit dehydrated. And I use it in my hair.
Yeah, so use the residue in your hair.
Yeah,
I always use
love
oils
it.
in my hair.
That one, that's the Murad one.
Lovely. Love Murad.
What else do you want to see?
What's that?
This is my collection. It's actually a clear mascara, but I always do it in my brows. So I'll brush my brows.
Did you blend it
up
or did
first.
they blend it?
I bent it actually, but accidentally. Sorry, I'd love to say that was some amazing tip, but it actually wasn't. It was a
But
complete
you
accident.
can do that.
You
can't
can
you?
do it, yeah.
Yes.
But you see, this is brilliant. It's like £1.50.
I didn't expect a makeover. Thank you.
Look, isn't that lovely? And then I'll put this on, and then I will pencil because I've got like very little definition on my brows. So I will put this on, and then I will use a pencil and just pencil in between the hairs, so it looks much more natural.
Are you a microblading fan? I think it looks.
Well, I
like
think
one recipe for everyone doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me, those sorts of things, the colour goes a bit funny
Yeah.
after a while, and I can see in daylight on people. So I prefer to just pencil mine in. So I think a really good pencil.
I think also, you can change your look. Whereas you're stuck with these big, heavy brows that when you take everything off your face, they're still there like a big tattoo.
Yes.
Hideous.
Yeah.
So you see all these girls on Instagram doing makeovers on themselves. It's like, yeah, but the brows, they're there and they're just looking at you. And
It's a bit of a brow issue altogether, I think, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But it's really interesting because, like a lot of the looks on Instagram are all about this very full-on, it's a similar look. It's a bit homogenised, I would say, with the big brows, lots of foundation, the lashes, all that kind of thing. And when I was at this university recently, I was talking to some young girls who had done some research into people that love, the young girls that love that makeup. And they were saying it makes them feel really empowered, which is an interesting reframe. It's something like when I was a punk rocker, I felt really significant being a punk rocker.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the equivalent of that almost.
Yeah.
It's a thing of fitting in and belonging.
It's a tribe.
It's a tribe,
Yeah, exactly. I know, exactly. And it's wrong to put. And also the thing is that, as one makeup artist said recently, that if you look at the 50s, everybody had a look. It's no different. We may not necessarily love it if we don't do it ourselves, but it's a look. It's a trend.
Look, yeah. It's just today's version of it, isn't it? Yeah. These I love. The Balance Me gradual tanning drops. I'll keep those in there. This actually, the lids come off. This is really nice. This is Studio 10, and I'll often do this on my hands, right?
That's my kind of colour.
And then I'll go like this.
Ooh,
and then I'll go like this. And I'll just blot them up the face like that.
Oh.
Just to give it a little bit of a sheen.
I feel beautiful.
Yeah, you feel so beautiful.
I love that technique. Do you do it to yourself like that?
I do it to myself, yeah. I mean, that's just a great sort of transparent, translucent kind of colour. And then what else do I love? These sort of little Bobbi Brown palettes I think are really nice. Just very easy to wear.
And this is your palette?
This is my palette, yeah.
Your colours?
So literally I'll just sort of swirl a bit of the taupey colour on if I need it.
And those palettes are good because you can just change the colours to suit you. So
Totally.
Oh, and some colour.
And some colour. So this is a Kat Von D. Gorgeous
the matte.
red, really matte red. I love there. It's a studded kiss range. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. And they did another really gorgeous pinky one, which I've lost, but this is really nice. It stays on really well.
That's
It's great.
a
You
good
can just
colour.
carve your lip colour out. You don't have to put lip liner on or anything.
Yeah.
You can shape your lips with it at the same time.
And it stays.
Yeah. And then just this really nice, long-lasting eyeliner from Daniel Sandler, which I'll wear every day as well into the lash line.
Oh, Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh, fab.
That's my little kit.
So, thank you, Lee.
Oh, thank you for having me. So nice to see you.
Always. Check this lady out if you want to talk, express, have your makeup done, have your soul refound, reborn. She's the one to go to. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the love. And do visit my lifestyle website, jogbliving.com, where you'll find our candles and blog and more exciting things to come. The link is below.